Call the meeting to order. Trustee Johnson is excused. Everyone else is in attendance. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comment and input on today. All right, moving on. Next, consenting the agenda and minutes. We haven't had a chance to review the 112 and 119 minutes. So I'll look for a motion to consent and approve.
I'll make a motion to consent and approve.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion by Trustee Stein to consent the agenda and approve the minutes of 112, 119. Second by Hinkle. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, so passed. Next item, report, sheriff's report.
Good evening. In the month of January 2023, deputies spent more than 3.25 hours in the village. Throughout the month, deputies conducted 29 crime preventions in the village of Elmwood Park. Deputies conducted several traffic stops, issuing for the following citations: 6 for speeding, 1 operating without a license, 4 for non-registration of a vehicle, 2 citations for no insurance, and 4 operating while suspended. Deputies continue to maintain an active presence in the village of Elmwood Park. Assigned deputies as well as area cars will continue to safeguard residential areas, ensure business security after hours, and conduct traffic prevention and enforcement in the spirit of community policing. In January, deputies did spend 3.25 hours of billable time in the village for an invoice total of $195.10.
Questions? All right.
All right.
Thank you. It's a quick one.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. Be safe.
Thanks.
Stay safe.
All right, next item, president's report. We had some comments about plowing. There's a little bit of a mix-up. There was an operator that was switched out on the asphalt contractor's end. Otherwise, everything went well, but obviously right now that's not so much of a concern, and hopefully we're on a downward trend into spring. Otherwise, things have been fairly quiet on my end for the last month. Next, trustee Gasser.
I have no comments. Nothing to report.
All right, trustee Hinkle.
Nothing to report.
Johnson excused. Trustee Rude.
I just wanted to report that we did have reports of outages on the east side again. And I checked with Ernie. He said that it's because of some of the breakages like we had before probably, and the ground is frozen, so we can't get in there and do anything. But my concern is what's going to happen in the spring now. Do we have to look at new lights? I mean, is that a possibility? It's very expensive, but I don't know if that's something to start thinking about, because you can't have the east side of the village out. And I did drive through a couple nights, and a lot of people had their lights on, their outside lights, which is great, but still it was already gone.
I did talk to Tim Kradowitz. Tim said that he did reset a breaker
Okay.
that was tripped that I didn't even think about. And he said that he was able to get the lights back on. So
Oh,
hopefully
wonderful.
that is okay for now. But yeah, as the jacket of the underground conductor deteriorates, we get ground faults. And so when you get water in there, it helps with the conductivity, and that's how you get the shorts. So
So is this something we should get a fund started for, that we can trickle into for
well, we
eventual complete?
We did get a budget on it at one point. It is expensive. We looked at doing it in thirds. We were looking at it as more of an emergency, then pushed that off because we were able to find the brakes. So honestly, right now, I'd go after the areas where there are brakes because there's really not that many. And it's an imperfect system right now, so troubleshooting it here and there is really not all that unrealistic. And it's, I mean, compared to the cost of a complete replacement right now, because you do more, and don't let anyone
Well,
talk into when we do the roads to put it in the trench again, because that got us where we are right now. So always make it a separate project. You can do it at the same time, but right now the system seems to be okay. It just needs a
But
little bit of
knowing that in
attention.
like 5 to 10 years.
Oh,
it's
yes,
gonna
long term,
be-
yes.
So would it be smart to start
Putting that money
a
aside.
little money aside to,
Well, actually, what everyone needs to retain then is in about 2 years' time, conflict that falls off, that's when you leverage
and you borrow.
that, so you can
Okay.
retain that without increasing taxes, and then slightly step taxes down hopefully, but then start financing more of those, or funding more of those projects.
Okay.
Isn't that gonna be like the second phase of the road replacement coming up in a
That would
couple of years?
almost make sense to do it at that time, that side.
Yeah. You could take on phase 2 plus
Those streetlights.
almost all of the east side. If, assuming lending happens similar to what we were seeing previously.
That would simplify the
How much
process, and not worry about boring.
Well, then, it still might be more economical to bore because of open trenching, and it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Let's go back to campus.
Ernie, I had a question when you said you talked with asphalt contractors. Did anybody, I don't know if it was Kendall or maybe you, did you say anything about this coming out when it's really not necessary? Anybody?
So, the issue with that is that when, I hear a lot of complaints about oversalting. My opinion of it, I was really only seeing 2 times where they were really oversalting, and that was one where
It wasn't the same.
Rusty was literally shoveling it in a bucket, so that's how bad it was. That was a calibration issue with the truck because the trucks were designed to operate at higher speeds. Otherwise, having a little bit of oversalting to me isn't a big issue. You almost prefer that because the opposite is what we saw before, where we were seeing
I don't
sheeting.
know if Laura, you were in the village at all, but they didn't salt then because Chris contacted them to like not come. It was like an ice rink all the way around. And I had several phone calls. I called Ernie. He said, yes, I've gotten several phone calls. We were all like talking and people were, Jen told me she felt like a ton one day when she was walking the dog. And she's like, what is going on? But then I told her that same day, because I had texted Ernie that morning and said, it's gonna be warm and then it's gonna be cold again. So they came and salted again. And then it really did deplete all of the ice, which was good. But it was, Chris had kind of shared, like, don't do anything. And he kind of became the front man instead of Ernie. And then it kind of screwed up the whole system that we had going. So I think now we're in a better place.
It should be, and again, we're going into spring.
Yeah.
And
Well, you say that, you better knock on some wood right now because
No, what do
it
we
is
do?
February and it's gonna
We'll call it.
be snowing in April if you say things like that.
All right.
I just had concerns about, if they're coming out for an
Yes.
inch of heavy wet snow, which is, it's a nuisance, but still, it's like, it's an inch. And, you see in the bills and it gets to be expensive. So just had a question.
Well, I think part of the problem with what we're comparing this to is that we had an extremely economical and odd situation with our previous contractor, which is, those are not normal rates.
And we switched it from him because.
He wouldn't do it anymore.
That's what it was. And somebody said, what happened to the other guy we used to use all the time? And he was so good.
Well, see,
But
the
it was
behind the
too-
scenes of that is people complained about him too.
Right.
You'll never get everyone happy.
No, exactly. I just wondered, I couldn't remember if it was because his rates went up or.
He was excellent. He really was.
All right, anything else, Trustee Rude?
No, thank you.
All right, Trustee Stein?
No, it worked.
That's all.
Trustee Studi?
Nothing to report.
All right. Sorry, on the side all by yourself. Everyone's over here today.
Yeah, Linda, you want me to walk down?
That's right.
Okay, I got a view.
Next item, unfinished business. We'll be looking at a motion to go into closed session pursuant to state statute 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, and performance evaluation data of any public employee for which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Item being the administrative position hirings and the maintenance staff pay.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, the motion is to go into closed session as stated previously by Trustee Hinkle, second by Trustee Studi. Roll call.
Yes, right.
Hinkle, aye.
Rude eye.
Stein, aye.
Rossi, aye.
Studio.
All right, in closed session. All right, next item, new business, setting dates for the 2023 open book and board of review. Ray, what were you thinking?
Okay, yeah, I was, the open book, that's just for me, so I was planning on like April 24th, if that's okay. And then the board of review, we need 3 people, the clerk and then 2 trustees. Yeah, I was proposing the 22nd of May for that. So, does that date work with you, or you want to change it, or?
Wait, 22nd.
Pardon?
Oh, okay. My mind switched the two. Who's interested? Was it 3 hours?
2 hours.
2 hours.
What is it?
We sit at that table and we talk about all sorts of items. For 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
We've never had anyone come in.
No, I've been over 20 years, never had an appeal yet. So, must be too low on all the assessments.
Well, I'll do it. It'll be my last time.
Okay,
One other trustee.
I don't mind as long as I don't have last year, that Monday, I had a conference scheduled for that Monday. And I haven't heard any dates for this year, so as long as I don't have something, because my semester's over and, prom's over, so I have nothing going on.
Wait a minute. I can't do it.
You wouldn't.
You're not gonna be president,
I
are you?
won't be.
I don't know.
I'm just looking at that. If
Do you
it's in
wanna
April, I
volunteer?
do.
You want it, you sure?
I mean,
I can't do it.
All right, it falls on me. Unless Wendy miraculously,
How about Brian?
no, I don't.
It's
Okay.
not the
Well, we can't
president's
volunteer.
responsibility.
Okay, thanks for telling me that.
I don't mind, because I have nothing else really going on, but.
Well, you can.
unless that comes up and then.
I'm gonna come and contest.
I might.
I'll do it, Kevin, I'll do it with Kevin.
All right. Trustee
Watch, then
Gasser,
I'll be like, oh, shoot, there's
trustee Stein.
I don't mind.
president.
All right.
do we got enough then?
Yeah.
Next for.
And we do need one person to do the board review training. And I believe you can do that online.
That was Brian last time, but now.
It'll fall on Ally.
So, yeah, it's important that we get that in, and the clerk is supposed to fill out that affidavit and send it in that somebody did.
How long does that take? You know?
He said it would take an hour or two. Usually the training says 2 hours, but it doesn't.
I think there's a link I put on here, yeah, you can just go
Yeah.
over
Oh,
that.
revenue, that training board, okay.
Yeah,
When do you have to have that done by?
well, by the board review for sure, but I would get it sooner.
No, I would, so I can do it like end of March, beginning.
Yeah, I would maybe try to do it a little
Earlier?
sooner.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
well, I guess it's already February, so March will be here, but yeah, try to get it done as soon as possible.
Okay.
Because I think they leave it out there, until May, but you never know.
Okay.
So April 22nd at 5.
The board review would be May 22nd, from 6 PM to 8 PM.
April 20, sorry. All right.
Yeah, like I said, unless I have something pop up.
And the open book was April
Uh,
28th?
April 24th.
No, the open book would be April 24th,
Okay.
6 PM to 8 PM also. And it is a reval year this year, so,
Okay,
okay? No other questions?
that by acclamation, then we're good.
Oh, we're good? Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
patient, we appreciate it. Sorry you had to go outside.
Oh, that's okay.
Next item, discussion and possible action on the 2023 Taylor Complex window replacement project. So trustee Rude had requested that this be put on, which kind of lit a fire under me. So the concern was the progress or lack thereof with CUNY on the bid process. So I did have a meeting with Rodrigo yesterday, and basically we looked at all the feedback that we got from the bidders and what they weren't interested in, the issues that they were having in the process. And I looked at it, it's odd, because when I look at things for the village, I'm looking at them with a different lens. It's weird, I'm trying to understand how my brain is doing that, but I look at them from the presidency. So I switched over and really gave it a look as a contractor, and I just said, this is just too much going on in these. I said, we need to add more elevations for the angled windows and then reduce the scope. So we essentially cut out buildings 1 and buildings 4 because those are the best windows right now. And we're only doing buildings 2 and 4. And then making it easier for them to get to the window manufacturers the price. That was another complaint that came through. So we spent a good hour and a half on the phone, just going around the Zoom call, going over it. He's coming back out tomorrow to get some more dimensions to finalize the drawings, and then these things are gonna get sent back out. That doesn't mean we can't do something different, or trustee Groot, if you want to do that. But I find that staying the course, unless you have a total breakdown of communication, is usually the best. So I'll stay on them until this thing's done, and I'll help you guys out going forward, because it'll obviously be happening after I'm gone. But I think the drawing's gonna be in a much better spot, and you're gonna get more bidders going from this time around. There's just way too much to actually bid to last
Building
time.
2 and 3.
Building 2 and 5.
Wait, no, you said 2 and 4, now you said 2 and 5.
No, I said 1 and 4,
We're skipping?
yeah.
Good.
Did I? I don't know.
Yeah.
You said two
No,
and
look-
that's what I.
Well, excuse me.
So building 1, the admin.
No, we're building 1 and 4 we're taking out.
Okay, so we're doing
Building 2 and 5 are
Okay.
the ones that we're bidding to right now, because those have the worst windows.
Isn't there building 3?
Building 3,
Is this
the
one?
windows aren't bad at all. Most of them are, I mean, these are
Yeah,
just
this is-
fixed panes here,
Right, you don't open.
yeah.
Okay.
So the good thing then is if pricing does come in to the point where we feel we could take on more buildings. So what buildings 1 and building 4 are very similar. Building 2 and building 5 are very similar. So then we just negotiate
What's
if
the
we want to get
timeline,
more.
like when?
We're supposed to send drawings out this week, but Rodrigo wanted a meeting and they said, all right, fine. I'm CCing Kendall in these communications, so if anyone wants to check in, so that we're not worried about walking quorum, check in with Kendall, that'll be the portal into the progress we're making. I want to send the bids out next week, or get the invitation to bid next week, and it'll be a 2.5 week process.
We're gonna have enough time to get it done this summer, you think?
The biggest thing is window lead time, because I'm having an issue with that. Well, one installer said that they were looking at like 8 months, and that one I can't see because storefront is like 3-4 weeks right now. Now granted, there's custom in this, but I really can't see it being more than 2 months of lead time. The frame is extruded, so it's easier to get. The glass takes some time, but still not that much. I really don't see an issue with it being a summer project.
I think it'll be okay in the summer. Are they looking, you say with the storefront windows, are there windows that are gonna leave ventilation? Because we have tenants that have said we'd like to open the windows.
Yeah, basically, we're kind of doing an in-kind replacement, so it's a functional window, it's staying functional.
Okay, thank you.
Does building 5 have like working tenants in
I don't really know what's going on there. It's an odd situation. I don't know what to say other than they're getting paid, so.
Okay.
I hate to be so cold, but I mean, to the extent that, what they do with it, other than if it's not destroyed, I'm not too worried.
They're still paying the rent every month?
there?
Well, there's a little bit of a hiccup that we became aware of, but that one isn't a concern. Which conversation's there for another time.
Now, we've got $300,000 for this window complex or the window replacement. What if we get into 2 and 5 and we get bidders coming in and we have extra money? Would we put that toward another building then? And
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What building would that be?
I'd say after those 2 buildings, the next worst one would probably be building 1. Building 4 is in excellent shape. I'd probably do this before I do building 4. So we'll still have the drawings for everything. It'll be easy to add, subtract, modify, but right now, let's just get something so that we can attract bidders, because even I looked at the drawings before, I was thinking, this is just, if I'm busy, I'm not bidding this.
Yeah, that's why I want to bid it now, because everybody's hungry for the summer projects, and so they're going to give you a better price, hopefully.
Any other questions? All right. Moving on. Approval of accounts payable. Has everyone had a chance to review? All right, then I'll be looking for a motion.
I make a motion to approve accounts payable.
All right, motion, is there a second? Second. All right, motion on the table to approve accounts payable by trustee Gasser, second by trustee Hinkle. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? You guys have it, so passed, and we're adjourned.